sounds a bit low, that number, but
Okay, we
definitely
are
there is
live. The
a
emergency
lack
broadcast
of
started about
synchronization
two
between the
minutes late, about
thumbnail
2 minutes
and the
late. We
text of
are
the
live.
show.
We had some folks holding
Over.
down the fort in the chat. We had to scramble. We were optimistic to be able to do this start time, but we scrambled and we got it put together. And R. Wags is in the house. Early emergency broadcast must be. Yes, this is very important. Kyle's in the house, and Jason's in the house. Craig has a lot to get off his chest this afternoon. I think these guys intentionally tried to stir me up in the on the channel, on the Watches channel. I think they tried to stir things up last night. And R. Wags says thumbs up, and obviously the pressure has been building. R. Wags, how are you? Okay. And I'm getting caught up on this. I think this might be related to relevant discrepancy that occurred on the Zello channel. 15 degrees. Well, it was about that here. It was super cold here too. Thank goodness some of the high pressure steam lines run under the facility here and help keep this place warm. Some of the high pressure, high temperature steam lines that run up to Camp David, they run under here and they help keep things warm. So let me let me make sure this phone is ready so that I can monitor if anybody says anything. And let me turn the volume down on it. So anyway, that should work. Here's the deal. It actually started with a heads up from Leslie, and let me see if I can find her comment or comments. I got to scroll back in time quite a bit here because it was last night, and there's a lot of action on the channel, but let me see if I can find her comments. Wow, there's just a lot to scroll through here, but hopefully I will find it. Oh, maybe not. Let me go a little bit further here, see if I get lucky. Okay. No, that's Dur. Okay. Oh boy. Oh, I should cut to this while I'm doing it so you guys can see what I'm looking through. My gosh, a lot of stuff here. A lot of stuff. Sell the Rolex and buy Bitcoin. Yeah, yeah. That's with regard to this. He should sell that Rolex and buy Bitcoin and keep the 002 and just wear the 002 and call it a day. We're going to talk about that. Oh boy. Wow, you guys have been busy here. There's a lot of comments. I can't get back to Leslie's comment. She said we need an intervention, that there's a lot of people wearing tacky things, basically. And she also commented on she saw some young lady at one of the boardwalks or whatever wearing a man's watch, and she said it looked goofy. She was wearing I guess a large Rolex, maybe a sub or something or whatever, and you know, on her small wrist. She said it just didn't look right, and I said I agree, but there is one exception. There is one time when you do that, and that's when you're at a polo match and the polo player gives his girlfriend his Rolex to wear, and she just wears it during the match. Okay, that's kind of a thing that's done at the polo matches. So she'll wear his watch while he's playing polo, and then when he finishes his chukkers, she will hand the watch back over, and of course it'll be really large on her. It'll be slid down her arm or whatever, right? But she'll just kind of wear it just to kind of hold on to it during the match. I've seen that happen often. Let's see here. Let me just get caught up. Okay, so on some of these comments, I almost don't know where to start. I mean, first of all, let's rewind. Let's go back, and the reason. Let's think about the reason why we buy a nice watch. Let's just go to the base level of why do we buy a nice watch. I think the the most legitimate reason to buy a nice watch is you appreciate quality. If you're a man, the one piece of high quality jewelry, if you will, that you can get away with wearing is a nice watch. Now, I'm pushing my luck here a little bit with the faux pay and the Bitcoin signet ring and so on, right? But for many, many years, all I wore was a nice watch. And men can do that. And I wore a gold date most of the time. And you can get away with that. And it's not frowned upon and so on. And so that's a nice thing that you can buy and you can wear and you can enjoy and it's acceptable and so forth. And yes, you can wear it indefinitely. You can wear it your entire lifetime. If you keep a Rolex maintained properly, maybe have it serviced every 15, 20 years, you can easily wear it, 40, 50, 60 years, right? I think you can. And I think you can do that with most high quality watches. Now, some watches are going to be much more expensive to service, like a Patek or something like that. But you can wear them indefinitely. The 002 Stunner would be a perfect example of a watch that you could wear many, many decades. And I think it's going to be robust and easy to have serviced when you need to have it serviced, which probably won't be for 30 or 40 years because of the design of the movement. It should last 30 or 40 years without any need for servicing. So you buy a watch that you really like and you wear it and you enjoy it, right? You don't buy it because some guy in some forum said that it's a good investment. You don't buy it because somebody said that steel Rolexes are hot and everybody wants a steel Rolex, so if you can get one, you get it. And you certainly don't pay $20,000 or $30,000 for a steel watch, for any steel watch. And going back to Leslie, she did a great job. She got a Rolex, a steel Rolex Stunner, for well under $5,000. And that's the limit I would place on buying any steel watch. I wouldn't want to pay more than $5,000 for any steel watch. And I've said that many times on the channel. If I'm going to spend more than $5,000, I'm going to at least get titanium. And if I'm going to spend much more than $5,000, I'm going to get 18 karat yellow gold. So that's what you do. And I'm sorry, but I don't give a rat's rear end about what most of these so-called watch experts in the forums and in the Facebook groups and all that have to say, because most of them are clueless. Most of them don't have any idea what they're talking about. Most of them have not worn luxury watches, high quality watches for any length of time. And when they talk about, for example, the pins and collars or pins and pipes or whatever, however Google, Grand Seiko refers to them, they don't realize all the benefits of that bracelet system. And they don't realize how much more comfortable the bracelet on that 231 diver is than a Rolex bracelet. It's not even a close call. I've worn both. Okay. I've worn both. And I wore the Rolexes from back in the day that were even more comfortable than the ones they make now. Because the downside to the solid links, all the links being solid, and the downside to that milled clasp and all that stuff is it's not as comfortable on the wrist. And the downside to the super case is it's not as comfortable on the wrist. Okay, maybe it looks good in forum photographs and Facebook groups and stuff. Maybe it looks good on social media, but I buy my watches to wear them. And on this channel, we talk about wearing high quality items. Okay. And to blow away another myth that's out there, that you can't wear something like the 002 with casual clothing. Well, guess what I'm doing right now? I think the watch looks fine. You guys tell me in the chat. How does the watch look with this outfit I have on right now? How's it look? Can I use it? Can I look at the time? Yeah, I can look at the time. Can I conceal it if I want to? Yeah, I can conceal it if I want to. I can just show just a little touch there, right? which is nice with a gold watch where you just show like a little touch. Then I can take a look at it if I want to take a look at it, right? I think it works great with this casual attire that I have on right now. So I think that's absolute BS. And they say, well, it's an old guy's watch. If I was 20 years old, I'd wear this watch. I wore gold day dates. The first one I got, I think I was 20, 21, in that age range. And it was fine. A lot of people could say that was an old guy's watch, right? But if you dress halfway decent, you wear a gold watch, you do what you do. I think there's a lot of bad information out there, and a lot of information that just has to be people that have not actually experienced the watches that they're talking about. That's the only thing I say, or they just have an agenda and they just want to, say whatever they say. Like Jason, looks like there's some light peeking through those 231 in links. Let's take a look. Okay, so see in the bottom right-hand corner, see that lug, that little reflection? That's on the bevel of the lug. There's a bevel there, right, that catches light. So see, that's a perfect example where if you didn't know what you were talking about, you would think that there was a gap there, that some light was coming through, right? If you didn't know what you were talking about. And so I'm glad Jason said that, because photography can be tricky, right? And you can see all kinds of things in a photograph that may not even actually be there. All right. I've looked very closely at this since this whole subject came up, and my in links fit very snug, very snug. And so, and I held them up to the light and I couldn't see any light going through, right? So, and again, depending on how the light hits the thing, you're going to have shadows and you're going to have reflections and you're going to have all kinds of things that can throw you off, and you might think you're seeing something that you're not seeing. So that could be part of it too. People could be going strictly by photographs and think that what they see is what's actually there, right? And so don't feed into all the nonsense that you see online on this stuff. Go see, touch, and feel the watch for yourself. Okay? Go see, touch, and feel the watch for yourself. And we talked about quality control too. I noticed that too. I see some light there. See? That's what I'm saying. So, so that's where people, that is a perfect example of how bad information gets out there, right? And the other day, somebody posted a photo. It's funny. Somebody posted a photo in one of the groups that was one of the renderings that Grand Seiko has, right? It wasn't an actual photograph of a watch. It was a rendering, right? And it showed that the thing wasn't fitting properly or whatever, right? And it wasn't even a real photograph, right? They're going off of a rendering. So that's even worse, right? At least here we're looking at a real watch and we're seeing a little light reflection and we think that that means that there's a gap, right? And so we're being deluded by a photo. We're being thrown off. But my gosh, when you're starting out with something that's not even a photo in the first place, then you're really starting from a bad spot. Craig can pull off a gold dress watch casually because he carries himself as a very successful man who gets enjoy the fruits of his labor and can go casual when he wants to. Cheetown in the house. And also, by the way, and again, with bad information, Craig, why not liquidate most of the wardrobe and buy a beautiful villa in Panama City? Good idea. But the problem is used clothing doesn't bring any money. So that wouldn't work out, I don't think. I really did not want it to hurt Craig's fairly, but I cannot lie. Okay. Our wags in the house. Craig, I've heard that several times on my Rolex 18 karat date 8. It's an old man's watch. The people that say that are clueless. Well, and I also responded to somebody who said that. I said, well, old guys know things, right? So if you think it's an old man's watch, then maybe you should, take heed and wear that and be smart like an old man. And so the SLGA001 has become my daily wearer at 46.9 mils. It's definitely a beast, but the titanium takes the edge off the weight. Tell us about your end links fitting, and tell us about the clasp. How's the clasp working out? We're going to talk about the clasps too, guys. We're not going to let you get by with the clasps bullshit too. Excuse my French. We're going to talk about that also. And before we get to that, though,
Be a man, wear nice watches.
I should turn the volume down some more because, well, anyway, I don't know if you guys heard that twice. So Carlos says about the thumbnail, it says, well, you got Chinese clothes on the thumbnail. Well, this is the regulator vest. This is the regulator jacket. And actually, there's another regulator vest on the thumbnail, the one that I got for Brianna. I'll show a picture here in a minute. These were made in the United States of America. Now, I am not recommending that somebody go out and buy a brand new Patagonia Regulator Series, whatever, because 9 times out of 10, they ain't going to be made in the USA. I think maybe 10 out of 10. I don't think any of them are in the USA anymore. So I'm not recommending doing that. I'm always very specific in my recommendations. Go out and buy a vest like this, like the one I'm wearing right now, that's made in the United States of America. Okay? If you can't find it, hey, don't buy it. If that's good, that's fine. If you can't find it, don't buy it. But if you're smart enough to do a search on eBay and save your results and wait until a mint condition one is posted and snag it before anybody else does, then you'll end up with a high quality Patagonia Regulator Series unit at a very good price. Let me see. I'll show you the picture of the one that I got for Brianna recently, just to prove my point that this is doable. Let me just pull up a picture here. Give me a second. Oh, by the way, this is the one that I'm wearing right now. That's the one that I'm wearing right now, the vest. Okay, and this is the one that I got for Brianna. And this actually is a purplish color that she loves purple. And she already has a jacket, the long sleeve version of the same thing. So now she's got the vest and the jacket. So she's got a matched pair, both made in these United States of America. So let's see. Oh, I think I missed something here. Okay. So the O2 is very nice watch for any age. I'm getting older, 40, but not an old man yet. Well, you look about 30, so that's an advantage there. Even if you're wrong on some of your judgments and or opinions, you do look younger than your age. So that's a plus. That's a plus. But my goodness, yes, that O2 could be worn by anybody. Carlos is in the house. Cheetown's in the house. And see, I fell for a lot of bad information. When I got my 002, I bought several straps. I think I've got like 5 or 6 of them now. Because I was told that the straps are only going to last a couple months, that they're going to fall apart and, you know, they're going to melt in the heat and all this stuff. And that, yeah, you better get a lot of straps and all, because the straps aren't going to last. Here I am almost 2 years later, and the strap is in mint condition. It's perfect. So I was fooled by some of those idiots, some of those morons, and some of the things that were talking about how the straps weren't going to last more than 2 weeks, right? Just either they're either idiots, morons, or they're idiots or morons. I mean, there's no other explanation. Cheetown in the house. There's a lot of fake news when it comes to Grand Seiko, but a lot of lying by omission when it comes to Rolex. It's all about these investors pumping up the Rolex brand to make money. I hear you. I hear you. Craig, should Tudor be ashamed of themselves for wasting 18 karat gold on the Tudor Black Bay 58? Is it actually a solid 18 karat gold watch? Is that true? Does Tudor actually make a solid 18 karat gold watch? That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Oh, God. What's the world coming to? A lot of these badly dressed investment bros wearing $5 t-shirts are wearing day dates now. They're discovering that gold is the real precious metal, not 904L. Well, they're probably doing like the altcoiners are doing, where they're, flipping the altcoins so that they can get more Bitcoin, right? They're trying to stack as much Bitcoin as possible. So they'll do all these altcoin scams and NFT scams and stuff like that to try to get more of the real deal. So they're probably flipping those 904L steel stunners so that they can get money and get a gold day date. And then they'll let the buyers of the 904L can be holding the bag. They can be holding the bag holders. Jason, sell the Rolex and just wear the grand depreciation 002. Now that is a smart man. Buys the 002 for less than cost to AD 1 year after it's released. He always gets the deals. Jason always gets the deals. And that's the other thing. They're always in these groups. I mean, it's unbelievable. They're always like the first thing they go to is how's it going to hold its value? Well, that tells me a couple of things about the person asking that question. One, it tells me he has no business buying a luxury watch, buying anything more than like $10,000. No business whatsoever. If he has to worry about the value of his watch, right, he's not financially in a situation where he should be buying something like that. He should be focusing on his career and upping his game a little bit and increasing his net worth and getting to a position where he should go out and buy something like that, right? Or he's in a profession where it's absolutely helpful to have that nice watch. Okay, like I felt when I was selling cars that dressing nice and having a nice watch, that all helped me sell cars, because believe it or not, customers want to deal with the guy that's successful. It's weird. It should be the reverse of that, right? Because they should know that when they were dealing with me at the dealership, that I'm going to hold some gross on that deal, right? I'm going to make some money on that deal. I'm not a giveaway artist, right? I'm going to hold some gross profit on that deal. They should know that just by looking at me when I was wearing a nice suit, nice watch, nice shoes, polished up, right? They should know, hey, this guy's a professional. This guy's going to nail my ass to the wall. But you know what? They still preferred dealing with me than they did some yamoke that just got there the day before and didn't know his what from hole in the ground. And so the successful salesmen were the ones that did all that dressed nice, that carried themselves nicely, that you knew how to stroke the people, you knew how to how to work the deal. You always wanted them to get them to take it home and make sure it would fit in their driveway, right? That was a big trick when we were selling cars. Hey, you got to make sure this thing will fit in your driveway nicely and so on, right? If they had a garage, make sure it'll fit in your garage. So that was a trick, because you got them to take it home and see what it looks like in their driveway or in their garage or whatever, right? And meanwhile, they're showing it off to the neighbor. The neighbor comes over, oh, you got a new car and so on. Well, I'm trying to work a deal. So now they've got to do a deal, right? The guy's already seen it. The neighbor's already seen it and stuff, right? So they've got to do a deal, right? Otherwise, they look like an idiot that they couldn't get bought or something on the financing, right? And so they come back, and now you got them by the short hairs, right? So you got a deal there. So that's the thing. If it's a tool in your business, you should buy it. Or if you're at a station in life where you have enough wealth built up and so on that you can buy that luxury watch, and it doesn't mean a hill of beans to your net worth. It's just a little tiny blip on the radar screen. If you're taking all your freaking savings and putting it in a steel Rolex and thinking that, quote, it's going to go up in value, that's probably not a good move. So let's go through the rest of these. Craig, should Tudor be a share? Oh, we already went through that. Okay, we went through that. Okay, we went through that. Oh, we're getting caught up. I'm really sorry. I thought we had been infiltrated because of the discrepancy on the thumbnail and the title. Of course, Sylvester gave Craig the friends and family price for the 002. Oh, Steve Vester. I got a really good price on the 002. I'm not going to say how much I paid for it, but I did get a really good price on the 002. And I think he would give other Wrench Gang members a good price on one too. And maybe not quite as good as the price he gave me, but I think he would give a good deal to a Wrench Gang member on an 002. Bree says, nice vest. Well, thank you. And Jason got, which one? The one that we got for you? Let me show that. Or the one I'm wearing. Yeah. Let's see. Jason got a better deal than that by quite a bit. Well, we don't know what the AD cost is. I bet you he's got 40% in that. So what is 40% off of 25? Does somebody do good math? What's take 40% off of 25 grand, and what do we got? What do we got, you guys? You guys that are good with math. Do you recommend any kind of safety procedure before use when you received used clothing from random people? First of all, try to buy some that shows no sign of any wear. If you're going to buy something like this, no pilling, no sign of any wear and tear. And they're out there because there are people that get stuff like this as a gift, and maybe they wear it once and they didn't like it, and then it sits in their closet for many, many years, and then it ends up being sold. And so it's out there. That what I'm describing right now, they're out there, right? Breeze, the one we got for Bree, is in really good condition. No pilling, no signs of wear anywhere. The zipper, everything works great. And then you wash it in Woolite. Wash it in Woolite. These things are washable. I think you're good. I think you're good at that point. David Williams in the house. David, we got to get you on the Zello app. Zello. The link is in the description. It is a free app. Here's what it looks like. It's a free app, and we've got chat in here. We've got audio. It works like a walkie-talkie, but you can post photos. See, there's a foot photo that he posted. There's a photo of my faux pas as proof of life. We have a lot of fun with it, and it's called the Watches channel. It's the Watches channel. You sign up for Zello, Zello. You get the app on your iPhone or your iPad. It's a free download, or on your Android phone. Heaven forbid if you have an Android phone, but it's a free app. It says Zello, Zello. It's actually a walkie-talkie app, but it has all these features. You can see here. This is how you have a push to talk button here, and you push and you can talk, and you can change that to a toggle so it's on and off. But yeah, it's really set up nice. Oh, by the way, when you're in this mode, if you click on the speech bubble in the upper right, that takes you into the chat where you can play back previous messages. Like I'll play back this previous one from Carlos.
Be a man, wear nice watches.
Okay, so you just hit the play button. I'll play it one more time. You can see it plays.
Be a man, wear nice.
Pause button to stop it. So you can play back and you can catch up on all the fun stuff that you missed. Craig, 002 is basically a special edition because it was first in America and has the provenance of being owned by Craig. Yeah, I would call it a special edition, not a limited edition. As far as I know, it's going to stay in their catalog, and that's one of the main reasons why I bought it, because I don't want to buy those limited edition things where there's 500 of them or whatever. I would rather buy something that is a stalwart, that's a long-term quality core piece, like the Date 8, for example. Maybe I'm funny that way, but I prefer that. because I prefer something that they're going to build for a long period of time, because I know it's more likely that 10 or 20 years from now, if I need something done to that watch, there's a bunch of them around, they're going to have extra parts. They're going to, it'll be more likely that I can get it serviced or fixed or whatever, if it ever needs that sort of thing. Now, that said, a lot of the limited editions use the same movement as some of the other editions and all that, but still, I just feel more comfortable if it's a watch that's still in production as long as possible. And I think the 002 is relatively popular, so as far as their gold watches go, so I think it'll be around for a while. Craig, if you had two, I think you mean TO, 3 watch brands to recommend. If GS is number 1, Rolex number 2, what would be the third place for you? I like some of the Omega watches. I think it would be Omega. And I've owned an Omega that I really liked. Omega has the same problem as GS has, where some of their watches are thicker than they really need to be. So you need to watch that. But some of them are respectably thin. So yeah, the call would be Omega. Top 3, I mean. Okay. Carlos in the house, 18 karat gold Tudor is verified. Pierce is right. I've sent you a link via email. Okay, let's check it. Okay. And there it is. Wow, that's a damn shame. Even their 18 karat gold watch is ugly. They've even managed to make an 18 karat gold watch that's ugly. Oh boy. And look at the price. I mean, you could almost buy, well, I mean, Jason did, right? You could almost buy a used 002 for that, right? Oh boy, that is silly. And it looks like it has a buckle. Let me. Yeah, it looks like that's not even a deployant clasp. And they've even managed to make the strap look ugly. They've even managed to put an ugly strap on it. See, they do that on purpose. Rolex dumbs down the Tudors and makes them look ugly on purpose because they don't want to cannibalize their Rolex, brand, right? So they just make those a little bit on the shitty side. Let's see here. These guys complaining about the value retention are the same Yamokes buying brand new BMWs. Oh God, help them. 16,613 versus 16,570. What do you guys know? What do you guys know about that? Let him know. Let Tyler know in the chat. Tyler, join the watches channel on Zello. The app is called Zello, Zello, Zello. And it's a great place to ask questions like that and so forth, because a lot of interaction in there, and these guys will come in and help you out, and that's a good place to ask specific questions like that. I think they'll help you out. They'll help you out. Hey, Craig, saw on Flickr that you got the new MacBook Pro. How do you like it? I love it. I love it. I got the 14-inch MacBook Pro loaded up, maxed it out with the only thing I didn't max out is I got the 4 terabyte SSD as opposed to the 8 terabyte. Everything else was maxed out, and I love it. It's a screamer, but it's quiet. It's dead quiet on my desk. The fans almost never kick on. Brianna can work it hard enough to get the fans to kick on, but even then they're pretty quiet. But she even has to work to get those fans to come on, and she's like a maestro with that machine. Very true. When I purchased my last M1A2 Abrams, I had issues fitting it into my garage. I did not take into consideration that big cannon. Yeah, that can be a problem. That cannon can be a problem. So, Craig, you don't see watches as investment, but as tools and as accessories to wear. Duh. Duh. Kyle in the house. Craig, why is the spring drive white birch 9K? I guess because they're going up market. I guess because they're going up market. I mean, I don't get it. I think that 9K, it should at least be titanium. But that 11.8 mil thickness is tempting for somebody who wants an all-arounder. Yeah. Yeah. I would wait for the titanium version or something similar in titanium. What about selling all your watches and investing in Bitcoin? Is that good advice? Yeah, if you have a bunch of steel Rolexes that are going for a premium right now, my gosh, yes. Duh. I mean, that's not rocket science. Get out of them. But I wouldn't sell like a watch that you're going to take a big hit on. Like if you bought an 002 Stunner to wear and enjoy, and you can afford to do that, then yeah, I would just keep that and wear it and enjoy it. But if you're sitting on a watch that you're in a big profit because you were able to buy it for list at an AD, and now all of a sudden it's worth like double that or something ridiculous, right? Well, yeah, duh, cash out, man. Cash out while you can. Jason says 15K is 40% off. So there you go. So Jason paid, I think, a little more than that, a little over cost. And I mean, it is possible. I don't know this for a fact. It is possible he has like 50% markup in a piece like that. I know there's a lot more markup in a gold piece than there is in a steel piece. But I'm guessing it's about 40%. That's what it used to be with date 8s with gold Rolexes. Now, I wouldn't doubt that Rolex has shaved that margin back some. Maybe it's 35% now because they can do that, right? Because my gosh, you know, everybody's begging to be an AD or whatever, right? So they can cut back the margins, but they used to be 40%. Because I remember when I got my white gold date 8, I got 40% off the sticker price, and the guy straight up told me, he said that's his cost, that he bumped it down to cost, and I believe him. I believe him. So, and we had other anecdotal evidence that that was about the margin they were working with. Like we would routinely be able to get 20% off, and you know, so they're still holding 20% profit, right, on a gold watch. So that was commonplace. Derek's in the house. I need a date 8, Craig, but you don't have any to sell. Yeah, date 8s are hard to come by now because we've been talking about them on the show. See, you shot yourself in the foot, Derek. You've been talking about the date 8 so much. Now we can't get them anymore. My feelings on the app. The show never ends. There you go. We need to get more people on the app, though. You guys need to spread the word, and we need to get more people in on the action on the Watches channel. LOL foot photo. 100% agree, Kyle. It's never ending show after party. And GS told me the 002 is one of the rarest watches in the catalog, despite being a regular production model. Possibly less than 100 have been made. Well, yeah, I don't think they make that many gold watches. I really don't. I mean, Steve gets them rarely. I mean, he might have one, and then he has it for a while, right? And then he sells it, and then he might get one more. Meanwhile, he's selling like hundreds of steel and titanium ones, right? So, yeah, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised, because I remember when I got mine, it was tricky for him to get it, and he ended up getting 2, and it took a while. Remember, you guys remember, anybody that's been around the channel for a while, you remember how long I waited for that thing to come in. And at the time, there was only one other one in the country at the time, or maybe 2. I think there were 2. I think Watchbox had one, and I think there was one down in Texas. And then Steve got 2, which was not easy to do. He had to pull strings to get 2 because he knew, well, he pretty much thought I was going to buy one because I was, you know, I had indicated that I really wanted one. So he figured I was going to buy one, and then he wanted to have one in his display case. So that's why he got two. Otherwise, he'd have gotten one if he didn't think he had one of them sold. Let's see. Not sure what that means. Carlos, I'm a bit worried about what can happen if Zello channel becomes a huge success. I think that we should start to consider some specific training and certification to have operator's license. Well, what's good about Zello is we can remove people, we can block people from the channel, just like on YouTube, right? We can remove them from the channel. Those of us that are, you guys are, a lot of you guys are I think it's called moderators, right? Isn't that the term they use? Let me go in here and see what they call it. Yeah, they call it moderators. So a bunch of you guys are moderators, and so yeah, if somebody gets out of hand, we can deal with that. But we need to welcome people in and assume they're going to behave, and then if they get out of hand, we'll deal with that. Love the 275, Kyle. I like the 273 too. Those are super rare and sold out fast. Yes, all three were pretty cool. I missed out. Okay. I'm with you, Craig. I also believe Tudor watches are deliberately nerfed in order to compete with, not compete with Rolexes. Yeah, sure. Even the color of the gold looks off. Carlos, silver Tudor looks better. Why no gold bracelet? Good points. Good points. Yeah, I hear you. 14-inch MacBook Pro is on my short list, but I'm waiting to see what Apple will do with the MacBook Air this spring. Yeah, they're going to update it. Do not worry. I do not feel you are disrespecting my watch with that comment. I hope you didn't go out and buy that 18-karat gold one, Carlos. Please. Please. I thought the Spanish military uses Leopard tanks. Oh, okay. I got the 14 Pro, but I think that Air is the good move. Okay. I hope a large 27 to 30-inch iMac M1 is coming. For sure, I will get it. And hey, if they come out with a really nice Mac Mini, an update to the Mac Mini, like there's rumors that they might come out with like a Mac Mini Pro, and they're going to come out with a Mac Pro pretty soon too. But a Mac Mini Pro, I really like the connectivity on the back of the Mac Mini. And if they added even a little more connectivity for like a Pro version, that would be a sweet unit, because then you can hook up whatever monitors you want to it, right? I've got two Samsung 32-inch monitors on my main workstation, and they look great. And now those are hooked up to the 14-inch MacBook Pro, so I have a third screen in that, right, which is an advantage. But a Mac Mini Pro would be very interesting for a desktop use. I prefer not to be very specific about my military initiatives on the southern perimeter. I think that I already spoke too much. Yes, I agree, Carlos. Loose lips sink ships. Loose lips sink ships. I think Jason got better than 40% off. No, I don't think he got it for less than 15. I thought it was close to 16, Jason. Do you mind sharing? Do you mind sharing? And Jason said I did. Triforce Rich in the house. I have to drive to the other side of OC. Make the show last over 40 minutes, please. Lance, Carlos, call in Triforce Rich. The other side of Oceanside, is that? No, what's OC? I'm confused. Orange County? I guess that's Orange County. There are people in the app that aren't in the YouTube shows. Interesting. Okay. Craig, would you consider an Omega Aquaterra on a rubber strap as your Sarasota watch? No, because I think the 231 will be an ideal Sarasota watch, because the thermal properties of the titanium and so forth, and it breathes really well. It's got decent spacing between the links and all in the bracelet, so it breathes really well. I don't think you can. I really don't think you can beat that watch for extreme weather conditions, and of course for salt water and all that. It it it's extremely anti-corrosive. You can't corrode that grade 5 titanium even if you try. Let's see, Craig, why didn't you have any loser friends back in the day? Yeah, I definitely had some friends that weren't winning all the time. I wasn't winning all the time, right? We all lose sometimes. Um, so, but yeah, we tried to hustle and get things done. And back in the day, and we're trying to. Most of the people I hung out with liked nice cars and nice clothes, and all that takes money, right? And beautiful women. My God, talk about money. They don't come cheap. They're not low maintenance. At least my experience says that they're not low maintenance. I don't know. Maybe you guys have had better experience in that than me, but with that situation. Let us know in the chat. Craig, what do you think of the Tesla Model 3? I think they're junk. I think the quality control is terrible. The cars are uncomfortable. Um, they're not that roomy. The Model 3 is too small. The full size sedan that they have has issues. The seats are not that comfortable, not that much padding in the seats. The rear seat is terrible. And they've got serious quality control issues. He just doesn't know how to make a car. I mean, he's never learned how to make a car. Have you considered inviting Mike the Snake on for a guest appearance? Do you know him? No, I don't, but let him know. I'd be happy to have him on. I'd be happy to have him on. And it's easy to come on. I need Carlos to be my Zello app trainer and master. Is Zello? Yeah, Zello is available almost everywhere in the world. So we've got a gentleman from down under. We've got several people from the far reaches of this beautiful Mother Earth. Craig should jump on the Marcelo Time channel. Okay, all right, I'll go there. I would be glad about it, but not sure if I'm a good role model. Oh my God, you got yours for under 14? Whoa, man, that is the deal of the century. That is a hell of a deal. My gosh, you got that thing for what a lot of people pay for steel Rolexes. A matter of fact, a lot of people pay more than that for a steel Rolex. Jason with the deal of the century on an 002 that he claims is in mint condition. He claims it has no issues. He has examined it at 100x magnification, and he says it's perfect. He says his 002 is absolutely, positively perfect. Oh boy. Orange County, Oceanside is in San Diego County. There we go. Yes, he should. Kyle in the house. Are Kent, Courtney, and Cowgirls Live joining the Zello app? How about Bill or Masha? Well, you know what? We have to. Bill Steers is totally. I mean, he's not a tech guy. he's a Neanderthal when it comes to tech. Talk about a Luddite. Kent Courtney. I'll try to see if he can come down and do a show. He doesn't have good connectivity up at his place, internet connectivity. So he's going to have to come down here to do a show. But I'll talk to him and see if I can coax him down to do a show. And Masha, she's not big into tech either. I don't know if she would install the Zello app, but maybe. I'll talk to her. Maybe she can maybe her and her girls can get on it and they can talk to each other on it. I bet the 231 would be fabulous in that hot, humid Florida weather. Yes, absolutely. But I'm not planning on being down there during the real dog days of summer and so forth. Not much. So I'm planning on being down there when, like today, it was only 54 degrees down there. Just to give you an idea, it can get cool down there in the wintertime. And it usually tops out at 70 to 80 degrees in the wintertime. So yeah. Craig, does titanium get as uncomfortably hot as steel can? No, there's something about the thermal properties of it that it is very comfortable on wrist. And I've never been able to get a full explanation of why that's the case, but my experience tells me it is the case. It is very comfortable in hot weather. You don't even know it's there. It just sits on your wrist and just like right now. Oh, no, it isn't there. I was going to say right now, it feels like it's not even on my wrist, and it's not. It's because the OO2 is on my wrist. And it just floats there too. The O2 just disappears on the wrist. You don't even know it's there. And that's the way a watch should be, in my opinion. My day date was a lot like that. My day date was very comfortable on the wrist too. So yeah, I know you have quite fragile character and frequently been abused, but it would be great to have you on Zello, assuming you're not already there. Okay. Um, I wore a 231 last summer, and the titanium is very comfortable in the hot weather. There you go. There's another report. Craig, would you prefer the Toyota Mirai electric vehicle? I heard they're coming out with an all-electric vehicle. I don't think it's actually being shipped yet, though, is it? Is it actually being delivered? I didn't think it was in the U.S. I would wait for Toyota to have a couple years under their belt with the electric vehicles and just see if they're as good as their other cars. And then, yeah, I would absolutely consider a Toyota electric vehicle. I think Toyota does a much better job on quality control and all that kind of thing than Tesla ever could. But will they do as good a job with the electrics? We'll see. Time will tell. But I mean, my gosh, you can buy a mint condition Prius like mine. Like you can buy one in mint condition for like around 10,000 now. They're a bargain. So I would probably do that instead. I'm not interested in more apps, Carlos. Fragile. Oh, come on. Just delete some silly app that you don't use and put Zello on there. It's great. It's a lot of fun. Zello, Zello. It's more fun than all those other silly apps that you have. It's more fun. Yes, it is. It's more fun. Craig is holding his OO2. Oh yeah, I will never sell my OO2. That ain't happening. I'll sell the 231 in a heartbeat. I'd sell that because then I could wear the OO2 all the time. Right? The 231, the problem I have with the 231 is it's a wrist hog. It ends up on my wrist way too much. And therefore the OO2 is not on my wrist, which is not a good thing. I'd rather have the OO2 on my wrist, but I'm not going to put the 231 in the box. And so because I'm not going to put it in the box, I don't like box watches. I have to wear it enough to keep it wound and keep it going, which really only requires about 4 hours a day. But once I put it on, it just like it hogs the wrist time. It's a hog. It's a wrist hog. Yes, it is. So, Craig is hold. Okay. Lamont's father got the O2 and sold it to Chase. Okay. Hey, Craig, did you buy your RV Survivor Elite? Not yet. Not yet. I'm still looking, and the prices are starting to come down a little bit. The craziness that was going on during COVID with everybody paying way too much money for stuff, things are starting to settle down a little bit. And what I'm hoping that a lot of those people start selling off and the market crashes and I can get a really good deal on something. And I'm keeping my eyes open. I heard, I usually don't, a lot of times I don't move as fast as others do. Like on the OO2, I was talking about this and mulling it over for like 6 months before I pulled the trigger. You guys remember on the channel, everybody was saying, "Oh, he's never going to get that watch. He's just talking, he's not going to buy a gold, another gold stunner. He's certainly not going to buy a gold Grand Seiko. He's just talking, blah, blah, he never even owned a day date, blah, blah, blah. He never wore one back in the day." And this was all the stuff that they were saying. Craig, do you think that Maryland needs its version of the person leading Florida right now? You mean leaving Florida? Oh my gosh, there's a ton of people leaving Maryland and going to Florida. Yes. Used Prius are better for environment than a new Tesla. Absolutely correct. Correct. Craig, did you wait a couple of model years before buying the Prius? I bought the it was the first of the second generation. They had made a Prius for several years, and then they came out with a new body style, new improved. And I did buy the first year of that vehicle, and it was made in Japan. And they wanted to really make a splash with that car. They wanted that car to become mainstream. It had been a niche car before that. They wanted the Prius to become mainstream. So they did a fantastic job on the 2004 Prius, and I bought that and haven't looked back. It's probably the best Prius that's ever been made because, again, they took their time and really did it right because they wanted to make a big splash. They did the same exact thing when they brought out the first Lexus, the 1990 LS400. They took their time and they did it right. And each one of those was almost handmade in Japan. And they're one of the best cars ever produced by humankind is the LS400 Lexus, 1990. If you sold the 231, you might as well go back to the date 8. You did say that date 8 is still the best one watch solution. I can't go back because I'm spoiled by the accuracy of this. And this is every bit as comfortable as the date 8, and it's a little bit bigger, so it's a little bit more legible for me than the date 8 was. Remember, I stopped wearing the date 8 because it was a struggle to read the time on it if I wasn't wearing the reading glasses. And so I stopped wearing it. It ended up in the box. And as you guys know, I don't keep box watches. So the date 8's days were numbered when it started living in the box more than living on my wrist. So no, I think I could wear the 002 absolutely all the time. I think this could absolutely be a one and done piece. I just would, every morning when I get up, I would just wind it. I probably would not wear this while I'm sleeping. I do wear the 231 while I'm sleeping. But this, what I would probably do is take it off and put it next to my nightstand. And then when I get up in the morning, I would probably wind it and go about my day and just wind it every day just so it's topped off, right? Which is what I pretty much do now. I pretty much wear it at least once a day. Sometimes it might be the second day that I wear it or whatever, you know, but I just top it off and then I'm good because it's got 3 days. Power reserve, so I'm good on that. Yeah, used Prius are way better for the planet than new Teslas. It's far more resource intensive to build a new vehicle than to keep an old one. Plus, securing lithium deposits involves a lot of imperialism. I hear you. I hear you. The whole electric car thing has been kind of another scam perpetrated on the public. A lot of lies in that segment. No, I meant, does Maryland need its own DeSantis? Oh, Maryland might be too far lost. Maryland might be too far down the socialist track. Handmade Lexus greater than handmade Aston Martin. Yes. Yes. Well, hey guys, I'm caught up. It's 3:46 p.m. We've been live for almost an hour. In about 1 minute, it'll be an hour. It's actually 58 minutes and 30 seconds on the timer here that we've actually been broadcasting. So coming up on an hour. We've almost solved all the world's problems. So yeah, any of you all that are not in the Watches app, again, this is what it looks like. Let me go back to the main screen here. This is what it looks like. There's 11 people connected to it right now. And then if you click on the little speech bubble in the upper right, that pulls up, you know, whatever's been said lately in there. So it's really a cool little app. Let's look at a few more photos here before I go. These are the most recent photos that I've uploaded to the Flickr, to my Flickr. You can find this on my Flickr. And there's a link from my website, and there are links in the description of this video to find these things. And so there is my Sony A7S Mark III with the 85 mil lens. That's my favorite portrait / we shoot a lot of the videos with that. That is a beast of a camera, and I didn't have a picture on Flickr of it. I was shocked that I didn't have a picture of that camera, so I went ahead and shot one and put it up there yesterday. And then there's the buckle of the 002. Notice the scratches. Notice the scratches. Now in person here, it looks fantastic. You don't even really see the scratches. Like when I just look at it right like that, it just looks like shiny gold with the GS and so on. It just looks fantastic. But when you see a close-up, you see the little scratches, right? You see the little scratches, and you see the dust and all that little stuff that you see when you get a close-up. But again, that's not real world. That's not real world use case stuff. There's the crown, right? There's the crown. And there's another shot of the crown. And somebody said, well, look at around the G and all. Look how it's not like perfectly straight and so on and so forth. Well, again, if you look at it in person, it looks stunning. But you get enough magnification, you're going to find any little flaws that there are. And there are going to be some. And there's the crown and the stem. The stem is just robust. That's the best word I can say for it. It is just stout. When you pull that thing in and out, there's no wiggle, there's no nothing. It's just solid as can be. And it's a nice, when you wind that crown is nice and easy to grip, nice size. That's the one thing that on the 5196 Patek, they really have a wimpy crown on that. I don't know why they did that. And I like the way the crown recesses in. See how that's notched there and it recesses in a little bit so that if you do bump it, that kind of protects it a little bit. So that's kind of neat. I don't know if does the 5196 do that? And then there's the dial. There's the stunning snowflake dial. I mean, what can you say? What can you say? And then there's the vest that I have on now. And then there's me. There's me again with the black background. That's the one I ended up using for my profile pic. And there's the Grand Seiko with the faux pay and with the Bitcoin signet ring, which also, by the way, is not absolutely perfect. If you look close enough, you can tell it's a handmade ring, right? But you look at it at even just 6 inches away, it just looks absolutely stunning, and it's held up fantastic. For all these guys that say that 18 karat gold is like soft as butter, I literally wear this all the time, and I'm banging it all the time because it's on my pinky, right? So every time I put my hand down on something or do something, it's bumping things all the freaking time. I work at my weights when I do my curls with my dumbbells, which have a rough grip on them that steel, right? Rough steel. I grip with this on, right? And I do my curls and stuff. I don't take it off. I do my curls and all that stuff. Guess what? It's still fine. It's doing great. And they're saying, well, 18 karat gold, it's like, it's soft as butter. You can't wear that. These morons. What the hell's wrong with people? What the hell's wrong with people? Let's see. Jason says, agree, Carlos. 002 has a great winding feel to it and comfortable crown to turn as well. See, Jason, Jason is starting to understand that everything I say is 100% correct because he's got an 002. See, he has one, so he can sit there with the watch and actually verify what I'm saying in real time, right? All these other yamokes out there that are saying, well, Craig doesn't know what he's talking about and all that. That's because they don't have the watch that I'm talking about. Like they don't have a 231 sitting right in front of them, right? So they can do a comparison. So they can't know whether or not what I'm saying is true or not because they can't verify it. Jason can verify it. Okay. He's got an 002 sitting right there. Okay. And by the way, Jason, you saying that the thing at the top, whatever you call that, the keystone at the top, yours was a little bit every which way on your 231. It really didn't look that bad. I mean, you have to be honest. It's a tool watch, for God's sakes. It didn't look that bad. Here's the thing. I think that I think that the 231 is sort of like the Toyota Land Cruiser was 10 years ago or 20 years ago, right? It's a rugged, do the job piece designed for certain tasks and does a really good job at that. And the fact that it has a rotating bezel that is not ceramic is actually a plus, because if you bump it on a rock or something like that, it's not going to shatter. And if it does get scratched up, it's easy to replace. And mine has held up great, by the way, as far as it might have one or two small scratches on it, but I mean, it's held up great and to heavy use. And the fact that it has 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, all the numbers is a big plus if you're actually going to use that rotating bezel. It's great that it's numbered all the way around. It's just a functional, well done piece. Much more functional from a tool watch standpoint than a sub. A sub has become a jewelry item at this point, right? And don't get me started on the clasp, on how much more functional the clasp is. The yeah, we didn't talk about the clasps that much. The clasp on the new subs is too long, okay? They could have gotten it right. They could have made it a little shorter, and they didn't have to have that glide lock system. They didn't have to have so much travel in that. If you just had 3 millimeters of adjustment with that, or maybe 4 at the most, right? One way or the other, right? Let's say 2 one way or the other. So a total of, and 1 millimeter in the middle. So that's a total of 5 millimeters travel, right? Would be plenty. And I don't know how many millimeters it is now, but it's more than that, right? And so the reason that they need to do that is it's way too long the way it is. That clasp is way too long. It looks freaking goofy, okay? And it's clunky. It's not as comfortable on the wrist. And they say, well, this one's too, well, I don't have it on, but the 231 is it's too fat. The clasp is too fat. I never bump that on anything. I never bump it on anything. It's a non-issue. It just sits there on the wrist. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't do anything wrong. It balances the watch nicely. And a matter of fact, it takes, like when you bang on the desk or something like that, it takes more of the beating and keeps it away from the bracelet. So the bracelet's like in mint condition. And of course, the bracelet is titanium, so it's holding up really good. The clasp that actually hits the table, that part is stainless steel. It's just super functional. It's the Toyota Land Cruiser of watches. So that's the way to go. Okay, where are we at? I got to catch up, and then we're going to wrap this up. Lance, call in. Oh, geez. There's a lot wrong with people. Mainly, they are too chicken to wear their watches. Day date versus GS. The 002 stunner that I have on wrist right now absolutely trumps the day date. It's absolutely a superior watch, much more accurate, as comfortable or more comfortable on wrist than the day date. The only thing the day date has on it is I really wouldn't want to swim with this watch. So if you do a lot of swimming, if you literally go in the water a lot, which I don't, but if you do go in the water a lot, then I would give the day date the nod. Absolutely. I'd go with the day date. But absent that, if you don't take your watch in the water a fair amount, then yeah, the 002 for aquatic situations, I would go with the 002. So yeah. Jason, 14 of the bargain, did you buy it secondhand? Yeah, he bought it on eBay, I believe. The best part of the 231 is you can wear it wherever you want and you won't be targeted by criminals for it. Maybe some of them will be mistaken and think it's like a Rolex or something and hit you over the head anyway. So I wouldn't necessarily go into any real rough areas, even with that, unless you have a security detail with you, because things are getting a little bit dicey out there. They sure are. Do you miss your day date versus GS? I think I already answered that question. I love the 002. Much prefer it. Much prefer it over the day. Jason, I got it brand new, and AD in Michigan retired, and I got it at a steep discount because he had to sell inventory. But didn't you buy it off of eBay? Wasn't it on eBay? How did you find it, Jason? Do tell. I miss Craig's date. And by the way, Jason, since you said you got it new, is your name on the paperwork? Is your name actually on the paperwork? Do tell. I miss Craig's date. He promised to buy one more, but still no. No, I didn't. I never promised that. No. Craig, I can still see you wearing a black dial, yellow gold date 40. Date 40. Black dial. No, because I'm spoiled by the accuracy of the spring drive. I can't go back. I just can't go. It would drive me nuts, the lack of accuracy. I have to wait for Steve to retire. Yeah, but you got to assume he'd have an 002 in stock. He probably wouldn't. So all that long wait wouldn't do you any good. After this, I can watch the old Rolex video on Craig's channel, feel better. There you go. A lot of people do rewatch that over and over again. A general side in the house. Okay. Jason, I wonder how an AD in Michigan is closing. It used to be a great place. I hope Durr was able to return that state to its old glory. No, he's probably going to have to get out of there. Comfort aside, I prefer the looks of the president bracelet, but I don't like dates or day of the week on a watch because of the work involved. I like the cleaner dial. I like the no complication dial because I can get the day and the date off my phone when I need to. I generally know what day it is. And the date, like I say, I can get off my computer screen. It's always there, or my phone. But to glance and get the time, I love having a watch. People say, well, you don't need a watch because you can just use your phone. No. I glance at the watch for the time often during the day. And I don't want to be fumbling for my phone anytime I need to do that, because that's how you drop a phone and end up with a broken screen, which everybody has. And that's why they have a broken screen, is because they don't have a watch. So no, I'm not going to go the whole broken screen route. Cheetown's in the house. I can see someone targeting you when you're wearing a snowflake. That watch has real jewelry feel to it. Cheetown in the house. Probably going to happen. Let's see. I did get it from eBay because you shared the post on your show. I didn't get my name on the papers, though. Small price to pay for a great deal. Oh, okay. So technically, really, it wasn't new, Jason. If it was new, it would have your name on the paperwork. But it's not a big deal. You got a hell of a deal, and yeah, in the overall scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter because again, I don't even know about the warranty situation. Maybe you don't have a warranty, but everybody says how, oh my God, the warranty, you got to get a 5-year warranty. You got to get this and that. Let me tell you something. I don't give a rat's rearing about a warranty, because when I buy a watch like this, I expect this sucker to be bulletproof, reliable, literally for decades. I don't expect it to be good for 3 years or 5 years, right? I expect robust performance literally for decades. And that's what I've gotten with the watches that I bought. I've never had a watch in all the years I owned Rolexes and so on. I've never had to take a watch in for warranty service. So that is a non-issue. Warranty is a non-freaking issue. And all these people in the forums and all these groups, they make a big deal out of how long is the warranty. Well, if you got to ask how long the warranty is on a watch, then you probably shouldn't be buying that watch in the first place. Because if that watch is going to fail in 3 or 5 years or whatever, it's going to need warranty service and all, then that's not a good play, I think. All right, I'll check the email. Oh, God, help us. I don't see any email. I don't see a new email. So that was a false alarm. Let's see. When will GS make gold sport watches? Good question. Good question. In my honest opinion, if you need about a warranty on a watch, then you aren't buying good quality items. Same deal with Range Rovers. Well, yeah, Range Rovers, you want a warranty because you know they're garbage from Jump Street, right? First of all, you shouldn't be buying one. And if you do buy one, you certainly don't want to have it outside of the warranty period. That's not a good plan. I think GS would step up on their boxes quality. I know Craig doesn't agree, but it's part of the experience. Yeah, I don't see a benefit to having some fancy box that you're not going to use. It's going to be packed away in the closet somewhere. Matter of fact, I want the boxes to be as small as possible so that, because I've got several of them in there right now, and I don't want them to take up any more space than they have to. So yeah, I don't get the whole box thing either. Of course, I don't buy watches to be box watches. I have exited the freeway. You guys are doing a good job. Keep it up, Horse Rich. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you. I think I'm being scammed. These guys are playing me. They're playing me. So we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm gonna eat something fantastic. And you guys do the same. And hopefully we got everybody straight. And there is a link to Zello, Zello. I have a link to a whole article I have about it, a whole blog post I have that is areaguides.com/Zello. That is in the description of this video. So do check out Zello. Derek, you got to get in there. You got to get in there, Derek. You got to get on Zello. And everybody else that's here that isn't on Zello, you need to get on Zello. There's 19 live viewers right now, and we've only got 11 people right now signed into the Watches app on Zello. So we got room for you guys. Go on, install the app. Don't pass go. Install the app. It's not hard. Bring it up the App Store on your phone. Go to search Zello, 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 and it's going to be described as a walkie-talkie app. Install it and then add the Watches channel. Go to Add Channels and add the Watches channel. We will see you there. Thanks, everybody.